What's going on, everybody? Zera back with another tips and tricks video for World of Warcraft Classic. Here we are in the immersive world of Old Doom, just outside of Silithus, a land of desert goodness. Alright, so let's talk about 10 tips and tricks towards improving your server reputation and on how to make friends in the World of Warcraft Classic. Tip number 1. Don't be shy. If someone you see on the road says hi or maybe do you a favor, you might want to return a favor. If you see a warlock and he happens to give you a soulstone, if he happens to trade you a hellstone, do him a favor. Trade him some linen, trade him some silver, whatever it is you have on you at the time. Be sure to give back. It all will go a long way towards letting people know that you are friendly and that you are also someone they might want to hang around with in the future. Tip number 2, be polite to others. This goes a long way. Don't be like some people are in modern WoW. Well, let's be honest, most people are in modern WoW where they'll literally just kick somebody out of the group for just one thing because they can automatically just go back and re-queue. That doesn't exist in Classic. So you need to be polite to others, and if they're failing to meet a certain standard, try to see if you can help them out. Pull them up. Don't just cast them aside and say, you suck, get out of my group. No, help them out, because I promise you, if you don't, you're going to have a really difficult time not only getting anywhere with quests or with dungeons, but also with just making friends in general. Tip number 3, buff other players. If you are a mage, if you are a priest, if you are any other class, paladin or otherwise, that can buff other players while you're on the road out questing in the open world, go ahead. Throw on a blessing of might or a blessing of wisdom, blessing of kings, or powered fortitude or arcane intellect. I don't care if it's a warrior or a rogue. Arcane intellect can actually aid them by increasing the speed at which they learn weapon skill faster. So mages, even if you see a warrior roaming around, go ahead, throw that arcane intellect on them. It'll actually go a long way towards helping them in the long run. Tip number 4, emote other players. What I mean by emote is just that /wave motion, or /hi, or /thanks. Let people know that you're not only acknowledging that they did something for you, but also just let them acknowledge that you know that they exist. Classic World of Warcraft is going to be such a small yet wide-ranging world, and while the world never evolves, the world never changes, with the one exception being the opening of the Ankh-Kiraj Gate. In the war effort, the fact that it doesn't change too terribly often makes interactions with other players, even players of opposing factions. If you're on a PvP server and you're not really feeling like going one-on-one with somebody, just, /wave, let them know that you see them, you know they're there, and that you don't mean any harm. Or if you're on a PvE server and world PvP is not really going on unless somebody's flagged, say /hi or /poke, let them know that you see them. It can actually go a long way towards not only improving the attitude of the other player, but it can actually, if you do it enough times, can actually up the feel of the zone in general. Because more than likely, if you do it to somebody, they'll probably go on and do it to somebody else, and so on and so forth. Tip number 5, be sure to share with other adventurers on the road, whether it be food, water, ammo, bags, quests, whatever it might be. If you can share anything with somebody that you see along the road, you might be hurting for bag space, and you may say, hey, I've got this stack of food here. Do you think you could use it? I got this stack of arrows here. You think you might find some use for it? Absolutely. Or I've got this random 6-slot bag that just dropped. Could you use it? Sure, I could use it. I promise you, that kind of interaction can actually open up a dialogue with other players of the same faction that can go a long way towards introducing yourself to other players from your faction, both their guilds, guildies, people that aren't even in guilds. Maybe you'll befriend them and maybe they want to join your guild. Trust me, this kind of interaction can build up reputation and friendships to the next level. Tip number 6, make at least one friend per zone. Now, this is very unique because in modern WoW, we don't really care about what other people are doing because there's so much in the way of, mobs leveling. You can level in different zones at different times. See, nowadays, everything scales with you. So people are usually spread out to the point to where it doesn't really matter. You can do your own thing solo, don't have to worry about it. And not to mention, mobs die in modern WoW pretty ridiculously. Like I just started my 110. Like, I don't know, I've streamed for 2 days now on modern WoW, and I'm already 115, and I'm pulling anywhere between 8 and 10 mobs at a time on my hunter. It's ridiculous. I'm literally just murdering everything that I come across. In Classic, that's not the case. Every little bit helps when you're out there going around. And I promise you, if you actually challenge yourself to say, hey, I'm going to make one friend per zone, whether it be Duskwood, Elwyn Forest, Westfall, Red Ridge, Stranglethorn Vale, if I go north to the Arathi Highlands or the Hinterlands, or I go across the Kalimdor to Theramore or wherever, all of these things can go a long way, and you never know what that one player down the road, once you reach level 60, might actually end up being that engineer you need to make that gun for you. Or maybe you find a couple of buddies that end up both being engineers, and if one of them's not online, you can hit the other one up, hey, can you make me some thorium shells? Or hey, can you make me some, can you make me some dynamite or whatever else? Or maybe it's a tailor, and you ask him, you say, hey, I've got some linen, you mind making me a bag? Absolutely, dude, you helped me out and way back in the day. I'll help you out. Trust me. Ensuring that you deepen your well of friendships can go a long way towards not only improving your quality of life on the actual server, but improve the actual feel of the gameplay. It makes the world feel that much more real to you as you're playing through. Tip number 7. Do not be so quick to say no to other players. Favors can lead to unlikely friendships, which can lead to a lot of doors being open to you, a lot of windows being open for you, and it may be nothing else you may be saying yes to than just helping them with a quest or giving them some food or some water if you're a mage. It might be something a little bit more tedious, like repeating the same dungeon you just ran 3 times to get a single drop. Or maybe, you just failed 4 or 5 times to get this one quest and you finally got it completed, and yet you just ran into somebody who needs to do the same quest. And you're like, oh my gosh, I really don't want to do this a 6th time. Trust me, if you say yes, more often than not, it's going to lead to an unlikely friendship that you didn't expect, and that can open so many more doors for you. Tip number 8. Communicate your intentions and goals openly with other players. Okay, so this is kind of a difficult one for a lot of people, because a lot of people don't like being open over Discord or Blizzard's own voice chat or whatever, or maybe even just in text chat with the actual in-game text chat for whispers or party chat or whatever. And I get that. I'm not asking you to, tell them your life story. Just let them know what your aspirations for Classic or even Retail WoW. These are all tips that can help in Retail WoW, by the way. But mostly for Classic, because these are going to be very, very, very crucial in Classic. But regardless of what version of the game you're playing, as long as you're open about what you expect and what you're hoping to obtain and where you eventually hope to be in a week, a month, a year, whatever, I'm talking about just in game, people, you never know. You might find somebody who's like, you know what, that's not a bad idea. I'm going to try that. Or, hey, you know what, do you mind if I, tag along? I might be able to help you, or you might be able to help me, or we can help each other. I promise you, as long as you're just a little bit of an open book on the front end, it can do so much more on the back end for you that you may not be aware of until it happens. Tip number 9. Trade chat. Zera, what are you talking about? Trade chat is poisonous. It's terrible. It's worthless. Mind you, I get that. That's trade chat in Retail. But in Classic, trade chat is going to be just hopping with people want to sell, want to buy, looking for, whatever match for whatever, or looking for an enchanter that can do this, or looking for a leatherworker that can do this, or looking for a blacksmith that can make nightfall, looking for a leatherworker that can make devil star leg plates. Leg guards, whatever it is. There is so much that trade chat is going to be used for, and the earlier you get involved by jumping in Ironforge or Stormwind and just getting involved in trade chat and making yourself a reputation for being someone who's reliable, who's always able to answer the call, that could go a long way towards not only making potential friendships, but also improving your overall server reputation. And as a bonus, it's going to put a little chitty cheese fries in your wallet, let me tell you. So trust me, trade chat is a big opportunity to both improve cash flow, but also open the doors for a lot of potentially positive relationships and friendships on your server. And for the last one, the 10th and final tip I'm going to give you guys, and I specifically left this one for last for a reason, but this one is going to be covering guilds. So guilds in modern WoW are more or less just a means to an end. I mean, let's be honest. Most guilds are only looking for people to fill in raid slots or to perform X amount of mythic pluses per week, and that's it. Nobody really cares about what else is going on. Oh, and let's not also forget the guild bank. So in Classic, the big difference between Classic and retail WoW as far as guilds are concerned is that guildies in Classic actually care about their guildies, because they're going to go a long way towards helping you, because guildies are going to help each other get the Whirlwind Axe. Fellow hunter guildies are going to help each other get their Rockdelar. Fellow guildie warlocks are going to help each other get their Dreadsteed mount at level 60. There's so much that you're going to help each other do and achieve because it's a common goal. You have a common enemy. You have a common interest. And it's that dynamic that is going to increase guild productivity and social just interaction with each other. I can't tell you how much different it is going from Legion, when I was a guild leader and raid leader and leading multiple, mythic raids in Legion, and you'd go in the Discord and it would be just dead. There'd be nobody talking in Discord unless it was raid time or we were running mythic pluses. Now don't get me wrong, it was still fun during those times, but it was just completely dead otherwise. Whereas in my guild's current Discord, and we're still 2 months away, 2 days shy of 2 months away from actual Classic launch, and the Discord is hopping, dude. I'm talking, there are probably thousands and thousands of messages in multiple different text channels going at any one time. And I've got like 6 different DMs open from 6 different guild members. I've got people asking me for guides. I got people asking me for information. I got people wanting to know, hey, what about this? What about that? And then I'm doing the same thing with other players. I'm like, hey, does anybody remember like what was the progression for keys and attunements and everything else? And like, oh, here, check this link out. I mean, it's just instantaneous. And we're not even in Classic yet because we all have a common goal. We all have a common interest. And I promise you, if you just take the time between now and launch, do a little bit of research, find that guild that's going to have raid times that are going to work for you, kind of feel out where they're going, what their goals are. If they want to be a hardcore guild and have everybody at level 60 inside of 2 weeks, everybody have Hydraxian revered by 3 weeks, and then by your 4th week everybody's got their pre-red best in slot, and by week 5 you're basically all but downing Ragnaros and downing Oni, and by week 6 or 7 you've got everything on farm, and by week 8 you basically have everybody either fully decked out in tier 1 or mostly decked out in tier 1. I mean, if that's what you want, trust me, there are guilds for that. But if you're more like me and you're like, you know what, I'm not a kid anymore, I'm not 16 years old, I can't dedicate 16, 20 hours of my day towards playing World of Warcraft, then evaluate your schedule, figure out what works for you, and find a guild that's going to fit that protocol. That's what I did, and that's what a lot of my guild members have done, and we've all come together in this community, and it's absolutely phenomenal. I'll tell you what, if you guys are interested, I'm going to leave a link in the description below for the Discord. But as of right now, guys, that's it. Find a guild. They are more like family in Classic than they've ever been in any other iteration of World of Warcraft. And just last thing, be sure you find one that fits your needs and your attitude the best. And I promise you, you will not regret it. With that, guys, that's it. That's 10 tips and tricks to improve your reputation on your server and to better your opportunity to make friends and unlikely relationships with people that, frankly, you don't even know yet. You don't know these people yet, and I promise you, if you do these 10 things, you will go a long way towards opening doors for yourself and for others to have long-lasting friendships and have an impact on your gameplay that you can't even begin to imagine, especially if you never played vanilla. Because if you never played vanilla, take my word for it, these will go a long way towards improving your gameplay experience for Classic. Anyway, that's it for the video, guys. And if you would like to join the True Shot Brigade, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Don't forget to hit the notification bell to be notified of my new videos. I'll be uploading at least twice a week, one cigar cast a week, and also one tips and tricks or guide video. With that, guys, I love y'all. Stay salty, continue to be kind to one another, and I'll see you in the next video. Zera out.